Thanks, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Shashank, and I'm the first-time presenter. So apologies if I do make any mistakes. So what we are going to demo today is an HR assistant copilot. So what this copilot can do is it can search resumes in SharePoint. It can get hiring managers approval. Then it can schedule the first round interview. It can generate interview questions for the candidate to answer, and it can then evaluate the questions answered by the candidate. It can then provide a hiring recommendation, and finally, it can generate the offer letter. Now, a little bit about me. I'm currently working as a principal architect in a company called Kerv Digital UK. I've been working with Dataverse since 2011. Roughly 70% of my career spent in CRM and in Dataverse. Previously worked as senior consultant with Microsoft, roughly around 18 years of experience, passionate about AI, Power Platform, and powerlifting. I'm also a part-time fitness trainer because I think that's the job AI cannot take very soon. So building blocks of this HR agent is basically, as you can see, there is a custom MCP server at the center of this whole system, okay, which is built using a Logic app. Okay, now this custom MCP server is talking to the Copilot, and Copilot is driving that conversation. We have the data sources with SharePoint, and the data is also stored in Dataverse. The custom MCP server is also talking to Azure Function app to generate the offer letters and things like that. And we have the usual set of tools like agent flows driving the flows, and then we have some topics which are driving the process. Now, just a little bit about creating an MCP server in Logic App. It's basically a standard Logic app where you create individual workflows, and each of those workflows then become a tool in the MCP server. So as you can see, we have create candidate, create question, generate offer, invite candidate. These are all the tools. Okay. And now, as you know, if you worked on the Logic App offers enterprise grade yeah, authentication and security. So putting your Logic App behind a virtual network and all that is feasible. So your MCP server can be as secure as you want. Now, a little bit deep dive into how to build like an individual flow. So as you can see, this is a create candidate flow here. Now, the point to highlight here is that all you need to do is basically describe the MCP server in natural language. So you describe what this flow does, and also you describe the JSON payload. And the beauty of the MCP server really comes up here nicely, because when you ask the Copilot to do certain actions in natural language, it will automatically map your input to the JSON payload regardless of how complex the payload actually is. So that way you just have to describe the payload and the what the flow does, and everything else can be taken care of by the LLM, which is the real brain behind. Now, how does it work? Further drill down into this. If you see the slide, as you can see, let's talk about the create questions. We have described this action as a JSON payload, JSON object, which can take a questions array, which is basically a dollar separated questions. Now we can talk about why is it not a JSON array later, but you see, it just has to be a JSON object and not an array of objects. You need to pass the array in a different format. Likewise, generate offer is receives the name of the candidate, data was GUID, and all this is described in just natural language. Similarly, the create candidate. And the benefit of this description is that when the LLM calls, LLM already has the information. All it has to do is to map that information to individual tools, and the JSON creation and all can be done automatically. Now, these are some of the links. There is a video which I already shared on the LinkedIn, and this is the learning portal. Now let's quickly look at the actual HR assistant. So if you see, this is our recruitment assistant. We have the instructions. So I will ask the recruitment assistant that I am looking for some senior Dataverse profiles. Just turn the activity pane on. Now you will see the MCP server will get initialized first, and then there will be a RAG which will be done, and the system will look for all the matching profiles. Now we see some candidates name have come up. We have Morgan Pearson. So now we can click on the resume here and open the resume from the SharePoint, and then right. So these are all fake resumes created by AI. We look at the file, and then we say, okay, you know what, Harper Ellis looks good. Can you send his resume for hiring managers approval? So now the agent will ask what's the hiring manager's email. So we give an email, which is this, and then we can see you can see that we have triggered some topic here, which is going to send an email for the hiring manager's approval, and then we should see this coming in the chat anytime soon. Email has been sent. Okay, I think there's some glitch. I'll say, can you? All right, I think I got the email. All right, so you can see that we got the email. It has the Harper Ellis, the resume attached. We can say, okay, approved. Please schedule the first round of interview. Submit that. And once we submit that, the flows do get triggered, and we should receive a notification that the hiring manager has approved this. We can see the message, and now we can ask the agent to schedule the first round. Can you schedule his first round, please? Okay, now because we didn't give it a time, it will ask for a time. We'll say, okay, let's do it next Wednesday, 6 p.m. IST. Okay, so we just wait for it to create the candidate. It will create a question, and sometimes the Logic App communication takes a little bit of time. So hopefully it should come soon. Okay, I think there's some communication issue. All right, so maybe I can talk about the Logic App here. So the Logic App, as you can see, the Logic App has the payloads and the descriptions are defined, and then we are routing that information to a flow, which is where this information comes to. So we have added some flows to this, and along with the candidate MCP server. I'm just thinking whether we should reset this new session. All right, I think David, I will pass it on to you. Probably there's some issue. I can share the video link.